What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Queso Cup for the final match of the day, the final match of the challenge season, which could or could not have implications. I'm not really sure. We got to crunch the numbers real quick and see, does this have an impact on seeding? Because if Vanguard manages to take the win here, it's a three-way tie in the third through fifth spots on the leaderboard between VATRA, Vanguard, and Papichulos, and then it all comes down to head-to-heads. Who won the respective matches versus each other, right? Because if VATRA does go down to Vanguard, that means that Vanguard is above VATRA, but VATRA 3-0'd Papichulos, so then VATRA should be above Chulos. But then how did Chulos do versus Vanguard? Well, it appears that Chulos versus Vanguard went in favor of the Chulos. In fact, that was match day number 1. Yeah, which is quite interesting. So I wonder how exactly that's going to work out. Nonetheless, it does seem like really a three-way tie, if that happens. Yeah. Locked in fourth, beat Vanguard. You beat Vanguard, but then VATRA beat you guys, right? And so if Vanguard beats VATRA, they should be on top. But then, like, you guys should be on top of Vanguard because you beat them. But then, right? Like, and but then Vanguard, but then VATRA should be on top of you because they beat you. And then wait, but Vanguard, you see what I'm saying? So it's a three-way tie, even in the head-to-head. So how does that work? How does that work? Well, the best that we can hope for, at least, you know, for the sake of the admins, those poor admins who are going to have to figure something out. I guess they're hoping that VATRA wins. And I think also a lot of us are, you know, looking to see what VATRA is capable of. Because after winning the last monthly final, that's a massive victory for them. They're going to the World Finals. It's guaranteed. So we want to know what these guys are cooking up in the kitchen. Now, when it comes to Vanguard, their Worlds chances are on the line versus STMN. Now, Vanguard, admittedly, they have an easier way to the top, right? Because they have earned their way there so far. Now, if STMN takes down Vanguard in the monthly finals, they still have to make it to the grand finals. If Vanguard goes down to West Coast, though, STMN just needs to make it to the grand finals, which means that STMN needs to beat West Coast. So, and of course, STMN still needs to win their quarterfinals match, which isn't going to be easy either. So, we will see how it turns out. But for the time being, this match is going to tell us a lot about how these last monthly finals are going to go, and a lot about what the Worlds lineup is going to look like. There's only a little over a week left before we have those monthly finals, and we have plenty of time to speculate. It's based on who beat who? Yes. At that point, it comes down to set score. Thank you for the clarification. In that case, I think we can reflect on it towards the end. I believe that the leaderboard is going to tell us the story. Nonetheless, let's get into the game. Semantics later. Semantics later. NA, bro. NA. VATRA Gaming, they start things off with an 8-bit pick. No 8-bit banned on their side. They didn't want to use a ban on that, it appears. So they're going for it themselves. Now, Vanguard Gaming with the Penny and the Lola. There are some pretty good things that you can pair up with 8-bit, though. And it looks like VATRA pretty much have free reign. They also need to be carefully considering the possibility of tanks. Daryl isn't banned here. Colette is banned, so that is out of VATRA's arsenal. They've also banned Griff. Some of the strongest tank counters are already gone. Nonetheless, Brock is a second pick for VATRA. Peculiar, I gotta say. Brock doesn't have the most amazing track record, but we saw in the hands of Brock Chepo himself earlier, it was pretty successful. Here's a Rico too. And that'll break open a lane that lets Rico play very successfully there. It can be challenging for Lola to exist there. Final pick. It's got to be a tank. It's still going to be challenging to face 8-bit, but it's got to be something in that sort of line of thinking. Nope, it's going to be Piper. I'm liking it so far. You get a long-range brawler that can also get wall break. So you no longer have Rico on the back lines where he's extremely frustrating to deal with. You can also get rid of a lot of those areas that 8-bit likes to put his turret behind. I think that this is a pretty even draft, all things considered. Typically, 8-bit takes the W here, but the Brock is not terribly convincing to me, and the Piper is there for some great wall break counterplay. I'm liking it for both sides, and it's going to come down to execution. as it, always does. Who has the mechanics? Well, Pain is going to be playing 8-bit at mid. The free mid himself making his debut. On the left side, free tank RBM breaking open some of these walls already so that Luffy doesn't get any area to exist. Betiches getting great taps at mid already. Tapping away at that save. Looking for a kill versus RBM, but as a tank main, the dude's got the dodges. Not when you get right up in his face, though, and you can slap that auto-aim button. VATRA still has taken a decent amount of damage on their safe, 5% already. Kane's got to be careful not to get too much in front of that safe, or he could impart some more damage onto the safe, too. There's a wall break I was talking about, and now it's going to be much more difficult for Rico to play well here. It's not the end of the road just yet, though. Super in from RBM. Betiches helping get a kill in conjunction with Killer. On the right side, Killer forcing back Juan Carlos. Betiches also taking some serious damage from the Incendiary. He doesn't fall down just yet, though. On the right, RBM also getting that kill. Big pinch on a Luffy. Not going to seal his fate just yet. Good shots from 8-bit, but the guy just refuses to die. He just keeps on dodging, and along the way, all those wasted shots are going to seal their fate. Amazing plays from Luffy, and this is the first push in from Vanguard, and wow, is it a doozy. 50% already taken off that safe. 1 more percent, and 2 more along the way. 47% is all that remains. Thanks to the crazy dodges from Luffy. Though I don't think VATRA are going to let him get away with that one again. They got to keep him from even advancing out beyond mid. It's going to be a little bit easier by Betiches supering out, breaking open some of the walls. Some decent taps from RBM with a long-range beam, that super. We also see Pain get taken down, actually, by Betiches. Big shots onto RBM on the left side. Everyone on Vanguard is on such low health. Their safe is looking pretty worse for wear, too, but they still boast an advantage here. 20 seconds left. Pain needs to get a super here, and he does, and it comes in at just the right time. Boosted booster. Here's the final connection, and they do boast an advantage of 4%. Is there enough time? Is there enough positioning? But it just has to super forward, but even then, there won't be enough damage onto that safe, especially with free lane, free mid, Juan Carlos and Pain face tanking for that heist safe at the very end. Amazingly played by VATRA. VATRA, they have a way of just pulling it back exactly when they need to. In Vanguard, I mean, all I gotta say for them is, holy, like, sheesh, they played so well throughout that entire game, and just at the very end, they crumbled under the pressure. A new game, though, a new opportunity. Will they replicate that again? Luffy was single-handedly responsible for that big push in. Already said he was just on low health and he was moving around, not getting hit. Well, yeah, that's what allowed Betiches to push in. Now Betiches is popping off. One shot after the other. Luffy, despite being on low health, is still going to go aggro around this left side, try and set himself up over here. Now Pain has a wall break that he can use. The right side, Juan Carlos just refuses to die. He does go down eventually, but he stayed alive for so long without Bouncy Castle. It's not going to be enough to keep Killer from advancing around the left, around the right, around the left. Betiches is trying to make some stuff happen. It appeared that a homemade recipe was popped, but not used there. Never mind. No homemade recipe. At least not that we could see. I thought I heard the gadget sound, but not yet. He's still got at least another left. There's one. A kill onto the free lane. On the left side, Luffy avoiding lots of damage. Does end up getting splashed. Betiches looking for angles. Gets pinched between RBM and Pain. Killer on the right side looking for some damage. Wanted that kill onto Juan Carlos, but his dodges were simply too good to deal with. But Vanguard along the way have still picked up so much damage. Juan Carlos tries to beam these guys at long range. Booty Cheese shows him how it's done around the left. 1, 2, 3 taps on that safe. 52 health left. Not going to be breaking open this wall anytime soon, but RBM will do it for him too. Splash damage will take him down. And now RBM can get rid of this irritating turret outpost on the left side, but not going to get rid of that main wall, interestingly enough. I wonder why he opted not to. Or maybe it was a mistake, but still the offense is just indomitable at this point. Vanguard will take down VATRA for this game, and now it's all tied up in this set. Wow, what a back and forth set so far. This is maybe the closest game that we have seen, with the exception of maybe like Rakonic's game earlier on. They were playing very well on Heist to boot. But between VATRA and Vanguard, I think we've kind of cranked it up a notch because there's a lot at stake on this match. Reconic, they're just trying to get their first win in the Queso Cup. That's cool. Here, though, is there seeding at stake? I don't know, man. Thankfully, the admins will be crunching the numbers, so we don't got to do that. Big kills from Luffy and Betich at mid. Even more damage finding its way onto that safe. Betich is still tapping it up a little bit. They got to find some value onto RBM, who's been doing a considerable amount of damage solo on that side, but with him out of the picture, Betich gets almost 3k damage a shot on that safe. Max range plus damage gear equals profit is a formula that every Brawl Stars pro should be familiar with. We also see Pain get taken down. Big damage on the safe once again. Killer and Luffy get to combine forces. No one can stand in front of it. No one can tank for it. There's the super as well as the salty barrel coming down from Penny. Beautiful stuff for Vanguard. A very, very swift victory for them too. They will pick up set number 1. Betu is, yeah, no, I agree. Betu freaking nasty. Dude was going insano style. Betu is Charles' father. Oh, wow, what do you know? Betu played really, really well. I completely agree. Now, will that be able to be applied to the further sets? I don't know, man. Is it Minecart Madness coming in here later on? I think. So that could be exciting. Bounty along the way, too. Could be super, super fun to watch. But, of course, that is considerably down the road. We still got another set to be played before we can get there, and it is Brawl Ball. Now, Brawl Ball, it's going to be really focused around what are these tanky brawlers that can, you know, walk it into the goal and things like that. Or maybe we just open things up and play it long range for the entire time. We've certainly seen those come out, but judging by the brawlers that have been banned so far, we saw Griff already banned, and we know that these teams, they kind of got their claim to fame around playing tanks and being extremely good at drafting them. But over the course of the year, the way that they have been able to sustain their position as, you know, some of the best teams in North America is by getting good at drafting on other brawlers, right? Getting good at drafting and not just on tanks. And we've seen that repeatedly in the past Queso Cup days. I've remarked on it that these guys are really just getting good at playing stuff that's not tanks. And that stands out a lot. I think that I wouldn't put it past these guys to allow Griff to get into the mix and then maybe start working some beef from then. But who knows? We'll have to wait for the draft to get in there. Betu is so handsome on the Piper. When will the draw happen? Yeah, draw happens, I guess, in Brawl Ball. If it's Backyard Bowl, then yeah, not Backyard Dole here. Not Backyard Dole, because it's between these two. But generally, last year, Backyard Bowl was very not entertaining to watch. And I think there is one brawler responsible for that, which was 8-Bit. Because 8-Bit just dragged out that match so much. And now, I mean, we get the occasional STMN tying Vanguard 3 times in a row on Backyard Bowl. And, well, we got one half of that equation here. Vanguard Gaming. VATRA are going to be banning out the Griff, actually. And the B. No Griff B strategy here for us, I guess. Not for Vanguard, either. And a ban of Colonel Ruffs as well. On the side of Vanguard, Penny, Poco, and Otis bans, all solid brawlers. Vanguard just getting rid of some optimal first picks or second and third picks for VATRA. A first pick of Stu is definitely going to be a strong option because it's going to allow any sharpshooter that VATRA picks to have a lot more value at mid if they decide to go for Speed Zone. If they don't, then, you know, I have no idea what they're doing with a breakthrough. Breaking open some of the walls at the goal line would be valuable, but they have to get there to begin with. And one brawler has slipped through the draft. One that we don't see almost ever because she's always banned, it's Janet. Janet and Jean combining forces here. Janet can be extremely frustrating to deal with, especially if you get your enemy all the way back up to the spawn and then you throw down the gadget. That is annoying to deal with. Now, when it comes to Jean, Jean's just all around going to be great for supporting a mid, and he can be that mid. And there's a Colette, too, interestingly enough. Squeak also. Squeak's going to be especially vulnerable to tanks. But Colette does counter them out. Stu also counters tanks, not in the way that you might expect. He counters them only in the manner of, I outrange you and I can continuously run away from you, and you will never ever get a super off of me. At mid, that is the only place where he counters them. He's not like Griff where you can fire off a ton of damage at close range. The final pick is going to be Crow, actually, which is Yeah, I don't know. Maybe someone can explain this one to me. If anything, Crow can jump on top of Squeak. Crow can also slow down Stu, which can be very bad for him, and deny some of the healing that makes Stu so valuable if he is, of course, deciding to go with Gassy Heal. Colette also gets denied on her healing from Gotcha, which might be some of the mentality. Oh, shoot! Zulon is continuing the gift sub they got from Dwy Gaming. Let's go, dude. Thanks so much, man. Thanks for the resub. I appreciate it, bro. A real one in chat. Let's get into the game now. VATRA, Vanguard. So far, no distinct advantage for either, though Gene does have a super already. Now, the speed zone's available to Pain, but you might not want to use it just to block a Gene super. That is a possible counterplay. The same exact thing goes for Janet. She can block a Gene pull. But that's not really top of the priority list, because they still can operate well versus Gene in the range matchup. You see some plays on the right side. Pain pushing in, Killer trying to appear right behind Juan Carlos. Does a jump in. Luffy trying to disturb things from the backline. Push right through. A kill just as he passed that. And a goal for Vanguard. When I slow down a lot, it's because I don't have words to say. Because sometimes things just leave me speechless. Beautifully played. Crow Super, for whatever reason, is so meta right now. Because used to be, like, he doesn't do much damage, he doesn't have much health, you jump in, what are you doing with the guy? But recently it has gained a lot of popularity. I think with Crow being meta for a bit, even though he was falling off a moment, people have warmed up to the idea of using his super. Luffy almost getting that kill on the right side. We will still see him fall down, but it just has to get the stun. There it is. No way! A trick shot from Pain! And VATRA will get this goal. Unbelievable. No way he just trick-shotted him. There's the spin too. Betches is like, I mean, he's probably trying to dodge out some damage too. But, wow, you got to commend that guy for a huge play. Still though, it's not over yet. It's tied up 1-1. Jump in from Luffy, trying to slow down RBM. Moves around the right side, not enough health. Luffy can defend this though. Had Luffy gone down, that would have been a definite goal for VATRA. And it looks like the sides are switched up a little bit. The tanking is enough, actually, for Vanguard to put this one in the goal. That was confusing for a moment, okay? Because we saw all the red guys on the bottom of the screen and all the blue guys on the top of the screen. And it's like, guys, the goals are the opposite way, right? This isn't Matchmaker, or Map Maker. Point stands. What a game that just was. Surely Game 2 will not disappoint. For VATRA, they still need to get a win here. Vanguard has taken game number 1. It's 3 games in a row for them. Push in on the right side. Unfortunate mispull there for Betches. And we'll see Juan Carlos continue to lock things in on this right side. He might even use a gadget, but he still needs RBM to help out. He still needs also Pain to come around that left side. Luffy seriously feeling the pain. There's a slow onto RBM, or rather, onto Pain. It's not going to be the death sentence that he might have been expecting, though. But it is going to force these guys back to mid. Beautiful play from Vanguard. It's still a 3v2 because Janet's still trapped in that residue from Juan Carlos. And is going down. Killer now can advance around the right side. Big super in. It is going to slow down Killer. It's going to mean a big pinch as well. Kill confirmation from RBM. And now Vanguard find themselves on defense once again. But they have the pull. They can start to get a kind of snowball effect to push things out. No way! Was that... Did he try to pull in mid-dash and it just canceled? I don't think I've ever seen that before. Because I certainly didn't see the pull go all the way. We need an instant replay of that one. Maybe someone clicked it, we'll watch it later. Still though, Betches on the right. Trying to defend this ball. Big push forward for Luffy as he supers out of spawn. This is what we needed to see. Betches on the right. It was just a dodge, okay. It was just a dodge pull. Interesting, I thought I might see the pull go further. It happened very, very fast. Good moves from RBM. Betch is getting completely encircled. He will not be surviving that. 2v3 now. VATRA had been completely on a roll throughout this game. Total turnaround from the last game. Still 30 seconds remain on the clock. Second to last speed zone popped by Pain. Betichiz gets to move it around the left side. Luffy can still threaten to slow things down. We'll also see RBM hit with the poison. He's probably not going to get slowed down unless also Pain gets slowed down. Luffy might have a move here. RBM still has a gotcha available as the last speed zone also popped just now. It's going to be all about exploding out as soon as these walls break down. Here it comes. RBM needs to make some moves here. He cannot get the anti-heal onto him from Luffy. Pass up to the right side. Juan Carlos has a lot of health that he can work with. At the same time, RBM is getting denied pretty hard by the anti-heal. He will not have that sustain that he needs as long as Crow's on his lane. And the lane switch is there. The outrange is also here too. There's the slow. Supers away from Pain are going to be enough to keep him alive, but only for a moment longer as he gets beamed down at long range. Killer has a super, so does Betichiz. The pull is there. Here's the upset on the back lines. Killer has the damage gear active. Gotta see the kill onto Juan Carlos for this to succeed, but the dodges are there. Juan Carlos is able to diff the matchup. Last slow from Juan Carlos. A super pass forward. It's not going to be enough. On the right side, here's a super in. Betichiz getting tagged up, slowed as well. Luffy also getting taken down, but the ball is just so out of reach. Betichiz is going to throw that back in the corner. A pull as well, just to make sure it's extra secure. And this game is going to end in a tie. Someone asked, where are the draws? There they are, man. There they are. Backyard bowl, backyard dole, whatever you want to call it. I'm still glad that we get to see these two play versus each other in such a furious matchup, but I would have liked to see a goal, right? And I mean, it's going to be hard to top game number 1 with an RBM trick shot. But still. VATRA have yet to get a game victory in this set. For their sake, hopefully, that was not the closest they would come. Big moves from Betichiz. He's going to get the pass over to Killer. Nope, not enough health to make that happen. Luffy on the right side also going to get taken down. Surgical takedown from RBM as he gets taken down himself from that residual poison from Luffy. Doesn't stop VATRA from continuing to push the ball at the left side. Now Killer gets free reign over the right. We'll try and pinch these guys in. If you can get solid damage on them, there's a free jump in for Luffy. You might even go for it just right now. He does, actually. There's one kill. He's not going to be able to win this versus Juan Carlos. He does end up getting taken down by that last bit of damage from the super. And there's the totem to force Pain out, and a pull as well. One box remains, but it's not over just yet. Killer needs to take down this turret as well. It's going to be a successful mission. It does take major damage. Big pinch is going to be enough to eliminate Killer too. Luffy getting a little bit funky with the dance moves. Wiggling back and forth, trying to dodge out damage is not going to be enough to contend with RBM, at least for the time being. Thank you for the gifted sub, by the way. Tyrone, I appreciate it, dude. You're a real one. Back to the game. Big kills on the left side. Betichiz still has the pull. He's actually going to opt to pull Juan Carlos, a jump in from Luffy to try and defend. It's all up to Killer. A super pass in, an attempted ricochet over to RBM. Here's the real one. A super over to RBM, and a goal to start things off for VATRA. Vanguard still trying to hold their own. They have to turn this around in just 35 seconds. The ball is already being tossed over their side. Killer immediately supering forward. With the damage gear, he can take down that turret instantly. Needs to kill onto Pain, but he still will get taken down by the fire. Betichiz also getting the kill. He's going to be able to avoid a lot of damage from Juan Carlos, but now this ball can get cornered, and that is worst case scenario for Vanguard. Not much time left. Luffy needs a super to make this happen. Betichiz has the pull. This could be a recipe for success. Pull forward. No room to make it in to take down that ball, and VATRA will be taking this game. Once again, VATRA, you know, good on you for taking the game victory, but, you know, it'd be cool is like if I could read the names, you know. I don't only be calling free mid, free lane, free tank, that kind of thing. I got to do on-the-fly translation for every one of them. It slows down the commentary just a little bit. It doesn't slow down the gameplay, which is the bad thing. I got more commentary to do, and it's harder to commentate on it as fast. We make it try and happen. RBM on the right side trying to make some moves. Luffy still holding his own. Big damage. And a good final tag from Luffy is going to be enough to take down RBM. Pain around the right. He's trying to make some moves. This could be it. Need to see a super in. Nope, he's not able to super forward in time. That ball got darn close to the goal, though. If he'd been able to get a super off of Betiches in time, he would have been able to super forward and pop that one in the goal. Kudos to Betiches for acknowledging that shout and denying it. Ooh, and a good slow onto Betiches, too. Killer's still disrupting things on the back line. Super forward from Luffy. Could see some carnage back here. It's going to be up to Betiches. He's going to have to somehow get out of this, too. Pass forward. He wasn't able to attack in time. Everyone from VATRA survives. They're a little bit bruised, but they'll recover as they march on over to Vanguard's goal. Killer and Betiches both kind of trapped over here. No one wants to make that first move, but they're going to have to eventually. Juan Carlos continues to push things in. Another gadget right in front of the goal, and that's disrespectful. It's now time for Pain to make his move, if he can. Betiches also has the super. It's a very tedious defense. Probably pretty nerve-wracking for Vanguard too. They are going to fight their way out of it, miraculously. Pain now trying to circle around the right. Big jump forward for Luffy. No way to pass that ball forward to him. It's all going to be about getting it over to Betiches and maybe forward to Luffy. Not in time, though. Not in time for him to score a goal. Great takedown. An even better pull from Betiches. Killer also taken to the skies after succumbing to some serious damage. Not falling down, though, looking for an aggressive position. It does end up finding himself in a two-man pinch. I wonder why exactly he decided to land there. At least he will respond with full health in a moment here. VATRA still. They're getting that positioning. They're pushing further up the field to earn themselves some success here, as overtime is soon to be upon us. RBM looking for that value around the right side. Tries to get it really close to the corner of the goal, but cannot do it while remaining alive. Super forward. Luffy needs to dodge the attacks from Juan Carlos if he wants to stay alive here. Betiches is also going to help out. Meanwhile, Killer is getting dominated on the left side. It's wide open for a super pass in from Pain. And VATRA will take this set. Beautiful stuff there for VATRA, especially there towards the end. Looks like Vanguard, they got a little bit separated, unfortunately, and didn't have the foresight there for overtime. That has to hurt, especially when Stu can so quickly make it up the lane of your map and also have a super to match it at the end. You know, VATRA warmed up now. We got 4 games in that entire last set, and we have played every single set to fruition so far. Fun stuff for both sides, but it is going to be a tie for the time being, at least on the match score. 1 set apiece. We head into Gym Grab. And I think it's Minecart Madness as well. So that'll be a fun one to watch between these two. But if you are really, really, really relying on one of these guys to win, then it's probably not going to be as amazing of a set for you because it's going to be probably pretty back and forth. But we'll see who takes the W in the control game because that's what Minecart Madness is all about. And you also have to be very good at, you know, coordinating a push in, we retreat out. It's kind of like the ocean, the motion of the ocean. You roll in, minecart comes, we roll out a little bit. Or maybe, you know, we've pushed forward far enough and we don't have to, you know, turn back the tide as much. So we have to only speculate as to how this one is going to go. The best way to see how it's going to go, though, is to get into the draft, which should be happening pretty shortly here. Yeah. And this is one of those times where I wish for all the fans of VATRA, of Vanguard, right, all of the Latin Americans in here, which I presume to be primarily Mexico, I wish I could, you know, I wish I knew more Spanish than I do. Anyway, fun times. Esposa, yeah, I don't know. In your dreams, in terms of any of the members of these guys, such cracked players. Let's see what they have. Number 1 RBM fan. RBM is insane, dude. I wonder if we'll get to see him play at his peak here. It doesn't look like it because VATRA does have the first pick. It's going to make it very difficult for them to play a tank that RBM gets to pop off on. But if Stu is in the mix, then maybe we see some mechanically demanding plays from him. So far, though, Otis. It definitely looks like a Juan Carlos brawler right there. See what Vanguard has to say on the other side. They're getting rid of Bo, actually. And it was on this map specifically where VATRA had that final killing blow versus Tribe in the last monthly final, and they did it with Bo. This is definitely a good shout from Vanguard Gaming. Griff and Poco on the side of Vanguard. Some solid picks here. Just in general, setting themselves up for success if they want to go for a tank. Also allowing themselves to blow up walls if VATRA decides to get a little sneaky and try and throw in something there that could upset them. And also getting rid of one tank counter for the side of VATRA. That could be annoying to deal with if a tank is on the field. Now, VATRA, though, they've already run the Colette, and it has worked out pretty well for them. But Vanguard still have a Crow available, and I would not be complaining about a Crow. In fact, I would like to see if VATRA went for a Crow themselves. Jean is also still available to them. They're going to go for the B, though. Barley would be funny here. It would be funny. And if VATRA don't go for something that can break open a wall, then that might be in the cards for Vanguard. B Surge, I feel like there's a beautiful call to TYK. Let's see if it happens. Stu, actually. And this is an RBM brawler. I think we can tell exactly who is going to be on every single brawler here. What is the final pick from Vanguard, though? Wouldn't be shocked at yet another Crow. Because there's only one brawler that can do anything versus Crow here. And it's, well, I mean, I guess Stu can get away. Otis can silence. B, though, is going to be especially vulnerable to that brawler when he jumps in. Let's see how it works. One more pick on the side of Vanguard. 2, 3 tank counters on the other side. Oh my god. Is this LATAM South? Mr. P. But I like it. You know why? It counters Stu and it counters B. Leave it to Vanguard. Leave it to Vanguard to pull out the counters that are so off meta, but actually, you know, do totally make sense. Yeah, Goat's in here saying Mr. P would be cool. Well, it is going to be cool. I'll see how it works out. Strange last pick? I don't think so. A lot of times last pick is, well, this is when we pick a tank. And this is when we pick the ultimate hard counter. But for Vanguard, it's like, yeah, we went for a brawler that counters and also works. Killer's going to be the aggro Poco here. I know he's getting pinched really hard. Fat Splatter is going to be the end of him for now. You can also see Fetich is trying to work with the Mr. P here. Sometimes old habits die hard, and Mr. P is definitely a LATAM favorite. Fetich, though, is getting denied pretty hard. He still has yet to get that super, and that super is the only thing that makes him viable here. And until then, he's going to be denied so hard. Still needs to connect the shots. He's getting outranged. Everyone is knowing that they should be focusing on Betiches here, because as soon as he gets a super, it completely changes the pace of the match. VATRA playing around it beautifully, too. There's a super connecting on the right side from Juan Carlos. Protective Tunes, too. There's a slow once again from Pain. A 9th gem picked up by him, too. He might go for it. Doesn't look like it. He's going to wait for this next one to spawn. Betiches has yet to get a super as well. Here's the first super. Going to toss it forward. It's probably not going to provide too much value now. But the game's not over just yet. They still have to push Pain forward. VATRA keeping up the defense. Beautiful push forward there by RBM around the left. Good damage from Killer, but he gets silenced there in the end. We will see this win head the way of VATRA. Game number 1 is going their way. Mr. P, the idea was there. I think the execution was not. And I think that VATRA also are to blame for this. Depending on which perspective, which team you're rooting for, are they to blame or do we credit them for this? Because they know exactly what they should be doing versus Mr. P. They know exactly how to avoid him. And they know that he is their primary focus. He is the main thing that counters out these left and right lanes. And Betiches is just left to look just about anywhere for any kind of value. Even when he does get that super. RBM is going to be there waiting for it. So far, 5 gems on the side of VATRA. Betiches needs to get some shots lined up here. Killer on the left. Still struggling a little bit. On the right side, Luffy struggling versus Juan Carlos on the Otis. Some shots could come in. Nope. No contact there. And a kill onto Betiches. Domination so far for VATRA. They have made sure that Mr. P doesn't hit a single shot. Whether it's by keeping him back, by shooting him repeatedly, whether it is by focusing him when he tries to play a lane, whether it is dodging those shots absolutely perfectly. He has gotten a few shots in here. In fact, this might be his time to finally get some damage. One more bit of damage. A takedown, actually. But no one there to pick it up except for RBM. 10 gems on his head. And he has the most mobility out of anyone on his team. How will Vanguard respond? They still haven't gotten a Mr. P super. And even now, it would simply be too late. Still, Juan Carlos on the right side backing up continuously. Killer, he's hit these shots. Not going to be happening. They have the mobility. They have positioning. VATRA have taken this set in a total sweep. And it's going to set 5. Or rather, set 4. Set 4. Correction. But it is still VATRA in the lead here. One game going their way, it'll be a match point for them. You don't think Mr. P got a single super this whole set? He got one. He got one in game number 1, and it was like right when the countdown started, maybe like 12 seconds left. Which, let's be real here, guys. Like, that really sucks. Like, it is. I don't even think it came down to like playing Mr. P poorly. I think it came down to the counterplay to this brawler is clear. He shoots at you. His range isn't fantastic. You walk under it. You don't get hit by the AoE. He got some shots here and there, but, you know, that wasn't enough to give him a super. So that really, really does hurt for Vanguard because they thought outside of the box and they used something that should be working perfectly on paper. And when it came down to the battlefield, VATRA said, okay, well, you don't win in the draft, though, right? Because we got the mechanics. And, wow, amazing stuff. Nonetheless, that's only set number 3. We got at least one more headed your way. Bounty is coming up for set number 4. And this is, I think, going to be like a similar change of pace compared to, say, Brawl Ball and Heist. I think that with Vanguard being able to kind of slow down the pace a little bit when it came to Backyard Bowl, when it came to Gym Grab, this is going to be a comfortable area for them, especially with the momentum on their side. 4 games in a row. We've seen only streaks so far. Like, yes, VATRA took game number 1, but then a 3-game win streak for Vanguard. Now a 4-game win streak for VATRA. And the momentum is only mounting on the side of VATRA. So this is going to be, without a doubt, a challenge. Not only building on top of the fact that they're facing VATRA, but a challenge because momentum is not on their side. And I imagine that it can't feel too great to lose 2 sets in a row thanks to sweeps. But you can still bring it back because Bounty is where we bring down the pace a little as well. And that can give you some more time to play the thinking man's game. But it's all going to start in the draft. Vanguard gaming the already ban out tick, which gives me the idea that VATRA actually have that first pick once again, and they do. It opens the doors for Vanguard to go for a last pick once again, but this time they cannot use it on Mr. P. That is for sure. And if they do, Godspeed. I wish them the best. VATRA Gaming, they start things off with a Janet. Solid brawler. Really just top of the meta at the moment. It's hard to go wrong with her. The only area where she like finds a weakness is that her super's not fantastic for excuse me. Super's not fantastic for getting damage. She also doesn't heal during it. But she also can get deep behind enemy lines, and for layer cake, that's absolutely paramount. To do it for free too, to become invincible for the entire time that you're up in the air. Mortis wishes he could. Might see Ashe. I would love to see Ashe here, actually. Though I do have my doubts. I have my reservations as to whether we will. Still, though, let's leave it up to Vanguard Gaming to get some more picks out here. Ruffs and Otis. Once again, going with the Otis. Strong brawler overall. And if Ruffs breaks open these walls, which he almost certainly will, then Otis will get that much stronger. B is also not banned out. It's another thing that VATRA should be thinking about. Should be keeping in their arsenal. But they would also have to think about which walls they break open at the same time. And with Ruffs on the enemy side, that could be challenging. Now, Vanguard Gaming still are thinking about bringing a tank in here. There are no tank counters on VATRA just yet. Griff is an available pick, but he will get outranged if he's not careful. Colette is also available, but she doesn't do great at confirming those long-range kills. Sprout is also available, but Vanguard can counter it easily. Griff pick. I'm liking the idea of a Griff pick. We'll just have to see if they go for it. They'll also be able to break open walls, which would enable a B. Griff B? Nope. None of the above. I did mention Sprout, though. He's not banned. And it seems that VATRA picked up on that Vanguard want to go for a Sprout here. But they can also play a tank. So they're going to address both of the issues. A Sprout pick and a Gale pick. Problem is that Vanguard still have wall break. And that's going to be bad for both Griff and for Sprout. Now, we've seen this situation handled before. Vanguard Gaming, they're also not too sure as to what, never mind, are going for the Daryl. In spite of facing a Griff, they're going to go for the Daryl. Peculiar to me, but still a respectable pick there. They'll be able to do some good stuff versus Jan if they can get in range. Same for Sprout. There's no wall break on the side of VATRA, so those walls are going to remain up. They just got to be cautious about giving the supers to Sprout. They also have to be extremely cautious about how they play around Gale, because we've seen VATRA have spectacular team play. So how do they work? Well, Blue Star sitting in the middle. Killer already going to hit him with a fat splatter. Looks like he disconnected immediately when he got to mid, which is terrible. He might have been able to get out of there had he not disconnected. Luffy also taking serious damage. Yeah, Killer's back. Throwing up the heart too. That is a really bad start for Vanguard to have them disconnect right at the beginning. VATRA still, though, remain in the same position. Luffy's still looking for some value. There's a stun, too. No free super off of that. Luffy is still looking for a target. We see Betich's taken down. The Sprout is going to be such a strong counter. There's the first gadget coming out from Pain. And it looks like, just by the timer, that he'll be able to space these out for the rest of the game, too. Unless Vanguard can find a way to get some kills with Daryl without Pain being a nuisance, they're going to have to bait out this gadgets, and if not, then ouch, and that really hurts. We'll even see Luffy go down, and it'll be to Juan Carlos, in fact. The double stun there on the left side. That's going to be worked the same way once again. Colonel Ref, gadget coming down from the sky too. Not going to provide very much value there. Luffy falling once again. Killer still looking for some value. Pain hiding around this left side. There's not really any angle to ricochet a shot onto him either. It's just Juan Carlos raining down fire upon these guys. If Luffy can get a super, he might be able to do something versus Janet on the right lane. But the ideal target is going to be Sprout, and Sprout is just so far out of reach. Betich is also taken down. Another gadget popped down. Killer cannot advance up that left lane. He can't get around mid either because it's blocked off by a hedge. Betich, though, is not faint of heart. He's still going to be going for some damage here on the left side, but Pain just keeps the distance perfectly. This has been a picture-perfect game for VATRA. How much of it can we attribute to Vanguard having a disconnection at the beginning of the game? A little bit. Only the beginning of the game. Because had things moved into VATRA spawn, I think we would have still seen a similar situation. Pretty much the exact same as what we saw from VATRA at Vanguard spawn. VATRA just camping Vanguard. This time Luffy will pick up that blue star though. And the advantage is on Vanguard's side, especially as they take down Gale as well. Now we'll get to see what would happen if there had been no disconnection in the last game. Here's the bush break from Juan Carlos though. Good dodges from Luffy. Actually, no shots hit onto Luffy, but Betich's is taking a beating. Luffy's looking for the angle. A kill onto Betich's as well. Luffy and Killer picking up the kill onto Gale as well. A super out. Luffy will be able to escape this. Very well played. Killer takes serious damage, but he's still not taken down. He's trapped on his right side, though. Long range kill there with Sprout. Luffy also stunned. It's an opportunity for RBM to set up on this right side. We also see Juan Carlos occupying mid. Very aggressive super that allows him to push up and look for some angles versus Colonel Ruffs. There's almost no avoiding this. And the bounce back is what takes down Betich's. Big moves in from Luffy, though. He's not going to get taken down by RBM just yet. In fact, he's going to be looking for the kill as immediately as he comes down. Does not find it, though. Vanguard remain in the lead, however. Betich is still trying to lock down this left side. Pain is having some struggles finding exactly where Daryl is. This time they're not going to be feeding that Gale with the Daryl consistently. Here's the wall break on the right side too. It's going to make it tougher for Juan Carlos to get good value. Luffy's still able to pick up the supply drop. He's still on the right side. He can get a super forward. And with a takedown of Gale, it might be that much more possible. Luffy's still very low on health though. Killer tries to push things back. 15-second countdown is active. The takedown of all three brawlers is what VATRA needs in order to take the win here. And they cannot lose a single brawler along the way. Here could come one stun. There's a stun onto Pain. Some more damage from Luffy. Need to see the kill onto Pain, and there it is. Vanguard will take a dominating game for the second game of this set. They still remain at the mercy of VATRA's match point, though. Cannot be a great feeling, but this game was so much more decisively in their favor. That said, what we didn't see this game was consistent lane of Gale onto Daryl, and that's what we need to see. This time also, Blue Star is going to find its way over to Juan Carlos. Vetich on the left, trying to play the lane versus RBM. On the right side, Killer taking immense damage. Could see him closed in if he continues to go aggressive. Never mind. Does end up getting pushed back out. He doesn't have a ricochet shot or anything, so he can't take down Juan Carlos, but he's got to be careful about where he moves. He also has got to be careful about not abandoning his position. Taking big damage on the right side from Juan Carlos, though. Vetich is still looking for some value here on the ricocheted shots. Luffy, super in hand, ready to go aggro. If they can keep VATRA in this position until the end of the game, it is a surefire victory for Vanguard. It is exactly where Vanguard want VATRA at the end of the game. They have to be able to get in, get some kills, and get out. Or simply get in and get some kills and let the timer run out. And that be their saving grace. And so far, Pain has been denied all chances of getting a super. Luffy gets to advance around the left. Hedge in as well. There's the Twister coming down from Pain. It's only going to block things off for a little bit. As long as these guys have both a Hedge and a Twister, they can prevent any sort of movement in. But Vetich still needs a super. If Vetich gets a super, then all hope is lost practically for Vanguard unless they can get an advantage right now. And they're gradually pushing forward. Another Twister comes down. The last few seconds are going to be absolutely vital for Vanguard to make a push in. More gadgets to disrupt things on the backlines from Vetich. He needs a super. Killer tries to dip his toe in there. Tricky super from Luffy. He's able to pick up a kill. Got to see that Hedge go down. He has to have a super. He doesn't get a super. In fact, he gets stunned, gets taken down. Advantage for VATRA. Got to see a kill. There it is. A double kill for Vetich and an 8-4 lead at the end of the game. Vanguard has taken it back. They fought through 2 match points, and they're going to set 5. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. I love being right. I love being right. I love it when I can say, if they could just keep them here until the end of the game, it's a victory for Vanguard. And what do you know? But still, it very nearly wasn't, because there was no super available for Daryl. And had that Hedge been replenished, had there been maybe a Twister gadget from Gale to block things off, we would not have seen that play at the very end of the game. Right? We would not have seen the Colonel Ruff's takedowns. Luffy was MVP of that set. I would love to roll it back. That's definitely by Hugata Masagura, but we got to wait till the end of the match for that one. Yeah. Let's go, Vanguard. Oh, man. Because look at the streaks here. Look at the streaks. Excuse me. VATRA wins 1. Vanguard wins 3 in a row. Okay. VATRA wins 5 in a row. VATRA wins 2 in a row. And that brings a last set. We've only missed 1 game in this entire set. This has been an extremely long day of Queso. I should also clarify. We've almost been here for 4 hours. That's crazy. And we might even reach the 4-hour mark. Actually, I don't know. Unless we get like lots of ties in a hot zone. Which is not going to happen. Anyway. Get it over with already. Yeah. Let's get set number 5 across the board. It's been a long day of Queso. Gale gadgets plus Sprout hedges that they had enough that Vanguard would not be able to push up at all. Looked like the Gale gadget expired and the pressure around the right side was enough that we got to see the Daryl roll in. Disruption on the backlines. Sprout was taken down, so there was not another hedge to go up. Left the doors wide open. That's what happened. They found the weak point, right? They knew that they could keep Gale away from placing down yet another Twister. But along the way... okay, this guy says, I don't understand English, and I don't understand you, but I'm here today. And actually, I don't know what the rest of it says. I only came here for solo... I don't know. I don't know what that is. Something about Queso Cup. Very patient gaming from Vanguard to pull it off. I agree. Perfectly explained. Thank you. Thank you, Rank 29 GOAT. I appreciate it. That's my goal, is to put the visuals into words that people can understand. You only came here to watch the Queso Cup? I got you. You just said, cut its Queso Cup? I don't know. Free for B. That's true. Well, maybe free for B, but if you're the enemy here, there's a need for speed. Max, that is one of the main things that you can do versus this brawler, but it's not going to be there. We'll see what Vanguard decide to do for themselves. They don't have Stu on their side because that has been banned out by VATRA. So they won't have that killer combo of B and Speed Zone. There's 2 picks on their side. No ties on Hot Zone, but then probably ties in one of the games. They call that Caster's Curse. And sometimes it's a very real thing. Pico is short for porque, which means because. Oh, I didn't know that was... Okay, okay. Interesting. So he doesn't speak English and he doesn't understand me, but he's here today. He came only... or he only came because it's Queso Cup. I'm going to try and read this with my best Spanish accent. Ni hablo inglés, ni te entiendo, pero aquí estoy viendo solo porque es la Queso Cup. XD. Getting Nears viewers. Yeah. No Nears today. 248 on the stream. It's a great feeling, guys. It's a great feeling. Muy bien. Oh, gracias, muchas. I want to learn some more. You know what I've been thinking of is, they have not, we don't know who's going to Worlds yet. We don't know what casters are going to Worlds. But if I'm there, like, just for the chance that I'm there, it makes me really want to learn Spanish, specifically to hang with the VATRA guys. Yeah? And if Vanguard goes there too, then doubly so. I want to hang with the Vanguard guys. Sounds so dope. Oh, thank you, Dada Vidoc. I appreciate it. Okay. Check out the draft. Vanguard are going to have to play into a Penny and a Lola. Draft went Penny, Janet Penny, or rather, B, Janet Penny. Okay, you know what? Forget it. Let's get on to the Brawl. The pick order, does it really matter that much? Oh well. Learn Spanish before going to Paris? Let's break that down after the match, shall we? That would be lots of fun to talk about. In fact, if you want to speak some Spanish, and I'll teach you some English too, if that's something that you want to learn, if you're not already pretty good at it. Come to my Discord. Yes. Anyway, let's get into it. Domination for VATRA so far. Super in from Luffy, trying to create some space. Not going to be successful, unfortunately. Betiches still trying to make it happen with the B. Gadget thrown down immediately, disposed of by Pain on the left. Free mid still occupying this mid. Not going to be slowed. He will be tapped once. Betiches needs to line up another shot. Pain is just out of range. 80% for VATRA so far. Luffy taking major damage from the Ego, and he is going to get Ego'd on the right side. Gets taken down. The percentage is counting up. VATRA are going to finish this one off without a single percent conceded to the other side. Unbelievable. Crazy, crazy gameplay for VATRA so far. What a way to start things off. Vanguard, they are just 1 game away from defeat, but they're 2 games away from victory. They need to get 2 games won in a row. And to start things off, they had to reflect on what exactly happened in that last one. It was 100-0. They do start off with a little bit of percent on their side. Killer's still trying to line up these shots. Solid damage versus RBM, but not enough to take him down. Vastly different positioning from Betiches. He's still going to line up these shots. Looks like he's struggling a little bit on getting those connected. The dodges from VATRA are also appearing to be confusing. The jukes are strong today. 1-2 takedowns for Vanguard. And it's just the free lane on the left side. Though, looks can be deceiving. It wasn't as free as it appeared. Killer had to take a lot of damage along the way. It took the entire team to take him down. But they have staggered out Juan Carlos. It's just Pain and RBM on the right side. We see RBM taking major damage. Does avoid getting taken down by Betiches using a turret, which is actually pretty good for Betiches. It's good for the entirety of Vanguard because that is a very frustrating gadget to deal with. Super for Luffy, but it did not do anything for him, actually. And all it's going to do is allow Juan Carlos to push up the left side and Pain to walk all over mid. Let's see what Luffy can do now. Still trying to pick these shots around. Mid control has been forfeited, but it's going to have to be earned back the hard way. So far, looking to be quite successful. Super forward, Luffy, trying to get some value versus RBM. Betich also able to slow things down. Never mind. It was blocked by RBM, but still, Betich was able to get the kill. And along the way, Pain and Juan Carlos still managed to stick it out. Left side domination. Right side, we see Pain playing very aggressively. Ego coming down. Some damage blocked by Betich. Great pinch, too. VATRA rapidly approaching the point of no return. 85 and counting up. Now approaching that 90% mark. Last push for Vanguard. But they are a bit disheartened. They can't really fully commit. Not everyone's there. They weren't ready to do it. VATRA, with 2 games in a row, will be taking this match. And they're tied up with Tribe on the leaderboard. We're going to avoid that really dire situation of a possible 3-way tie and then having to go down to the set scores to determine who wins in the head-to-head. Wow. Crazy, crazy stuff. But in the end, VATRA Gaming, they assert their dominance. Vanguard Gaming fall just behind. Luckily for Vanguard, it's not going to change their seeding. They're still in the top 5. Now, they did get taken down by Papi Chulos, which means that even in the tiebreaker, they are going to be below Papi Chulos, but it means that Vanguard, they're not out of the competition, right? They are still in it, but they had to fight their way through the gauntlet, which means that for the playoffs, October 4th, by the way, means that for the playoffs, they're going to be playing that very first match, or sorry, October 5th, correction. But they're going to have to fight their way all the way through, and it's going to be absolutely gruesome, but I wouldn't put it past the guys because they played a banger match today, and they've played a great run through the Queso Cup. With that, though, match isn't all over. Let's reflect on the best play of the day. La Jugada Masagura is coming up. What was the best play of the day? There were some close moments there, but this one, I think, really, really takes the cake. Watch RBM here. Just watch what he's capable of. It looked almost like a pass over the right side, but watch. Or it wasn't even RBM. It was Pain. Dude, it didn't even have to be a pass over to RBM. Oh, shoot, Black Sage is rated. Dude, thanks so much, man. I appreciate it. Black Sage is rating me now because he knew that I would likely raid him. Dude, that's a big fat raid. 26 people. Thanks so much, Black Sages, man. I appreciate it. Leo, I don't know how say in Spanish. Que soy un papi chulo. Gracias. Gracias. Thank you so much, man. Get on Power League. No shot, dude. Why am I getting on Power League? Raid Archaz for the help. For the help with the dog? That's true. That's true. I should give you some kind of favor for that. Okay, let's take a look at the leaderboard. STMN, Tribe Gaming, VATRA Gaming. Those are your top 3. STMN, they got taken down today, actually, in kind of an interesting match. Chazmac Gaming for the win. But it doesn't change Chazmac's position. They're still at number 6 on the leaderboard. Unfortunately, that means that they will not be going to the playoffs. For West Coast and Reconic Esports, they're going to fight their way back to those spots in the Queso Cup in the coming seasons as well. So Chazmac Gaming, they get to kind of breathe a sigh of relief because they are still in the Queso Cup for the next season, I believe. But for Vanguard Gaming, despite the loss today, they are above Chazmac Gaming. They got the win over them. With a 3-4 record, they are in 5th place. Papi Chulos are in 4th place as well. VATRA Gaming in 3rd. Tribe Gaming did get the win over VATRA as well, which places VATRA in 3rd. And STMN, once again, at the top, 6-1 record. So close to a perfect record. But you know what? I'm happy to see a CMG win today. That was beautiful to behold, and I think CMG absolutely deserved it because they played so dang well today. And I can't wait to see what they have going on for the rest of the year and also for the rest of the Queso Cup because we got another Queso Cup coming up in a month here. But it's not the end of this one just yet. Playoffs next week. It's going to be on October 5th. So mark your calendars because it's going to be an absolute blast. And it's going to be, once again, a true spectacle. 4 matches, and if there's a tiebreaker, maybe even 5, it'll be all of what you saw today and more. So, what is this? In predictions? All in the predictions. We got some stuff to wrap up here. Let's get the predictions. And we'll choose. Yep, it was Vanguard, or rather, sorry, not to alarm anyone, I wasn't about to misclick it. VATRA took the win. Congratulations to VATRA. GG's to Vanguard. Best of luck to them in the upcoming monthly finals and also in the gauntlet, because that is going to be extremely tiresome. That also, and just some things before we sign off here. Once again, October 5th, that is when you want to be here. I'm about to put on my calendar. It's not there yet, okay? So you know, don't rush me just yet. But that is the playoffs. Same time, same place. Here on my Twitch channel at the same time at 6 p.m. Central Time. Another thing for all of you guys to know. Please come check out my Discord because we're making a compilation of copy pastas. Also, if you want to come and talk in VC with me, because we do that now, go for it. Especially if you speak Espanol, okay? Because I want to learn some, in case of, a world's situation. Another thing, if you're not following, please hit me with a follow right now so that you can get notified when those playoffs are on and you can hop into the stream. And I think mostly beyond that, we're about finished here. So, guys, I want to say thank you to everyone for coming by. It has been super, super fun. We're going to also check out, who else is streaming Brawl Stars right now. Maybe we hit them with a raid. Maybe someone from the matches we were watching today is streaming. It is very low. Learn Spanish with Ready in his servers. Or more like teach Ready Spanish in his server. I think that sounds a little bit more accurate. Anyway, let's check out the category. Does look like, let's see. Oh, shoot, she's translating Queso. Let's go. Wait, what is her stream titled? Traduciendo la queso porque es lo que hay. Interesting. Okay, maybe hit her with the raid because I don't see any English-speaking streamers at the moment, and the typical English streamers of Black Sages 2 is not streaming right now. So everyone get ready for a raid. We're raiding Jocelyn. It's going to be a really fun time. And make it happen. Get this raid cranked up. Everyone make sure you join in. And remind Jocelyn where you all came from. Right? Reminder that's a Ready raid. And if you have some emotes that you unlocked with your channel points, your precious Ready shekels, make sure you spam those too. And also hit her with a follow to be nice. Anyway, guys, that's about it from me. It's been a fun time. I hope to see you guys next. What is it? Next, I don't know how many days it is. I guess a week from now. Next Wednesday, those are the playoffs. Guys, be here. It'll be an absolute blast. And it's been fun today, but all good things must come to an end. It's been the Queso Cup for today. Been a pleasure. See you guys next time for some more Queso action.